Hello and welcome to A Cup of Spirituality. We are so glad you are here. Now, this is a space where spirituality feels like having a cuppa with friends. And today we're diving into the magic of working with the moon, from her cycles and rituals to crystals, angels, and ways you can connect with Luna in your own life. Now, each month we explore topics that you've been asking about, from grounding and connecting with angels to understanding chakras, crystals, and so much more. And of course, we'd love you to say hello in the comments, like this video, and share it with anyone who'd enjoy it. And let us know your thoughts or questions. You know, this show is all about you, your curiosity, your journey, and your growth. And of course, if we don't get to your question in this episode, then don't worry, because it may become a topic of a future show. We're here to create a community of learning, connection, and exploration. And most importantly, this is a safe, judgment-free space where everyone is welcome to share and grow.
Absolutely. What Ray and I are passionate about is building a tribe where we can learn from each other and connect with other like-minded souls. And this is for people who are brand new to spirituality, but people who've been on the path for a while. There's always something new to learn, something new to explore. And this is a safe space where we can gather and sort of learn together and learn from each other. And yeah, I'm just so happy that you're joining us. So let's settle in with our favourite cuppa and dive into this month's topic, which is, as Ray said, it's all about the moon. But first of all, we should really introduce ourselves properly. So,
Oh, we should really, shouldn't we? So I'm Ray, and I'm a spiritual guide and healer who is passionate about helping you reconnect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. And through angelic Reiki, guided meditations, and exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your path and creating a soul-aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me with the right tools and transformation and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace that transformation, and live a life full of abundance and fulfillment. And I'm here to hold space for you as we explore spirituality together in this safe and supportive community.
So I'm Sally. I am passionate about supporting women. That is my thing. So I work as a psychic. I give psychic readings. I'm a trauma-informed women's coach. I facilitate women's circles and women's group and spiritual development. I work with Mary Magdalene and I channel her wisdom through. And it's all about kind of what our mission statement is really for Ray and I. It's about building a tribe where women, in my instance, it's women, can gather, and I feel that's needed in these times, to find our tribe and to have a support network, both spiritually and, actually in our daily lives as well. So that's what I'm all about.
Yep, and Tasmin is here. Hello, Tasmin.
lovely.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. So, shall we get into this week's topic, which is the moon, or I like to actually call her Luna. And the reason why I like to call her Luna is because to me it feels more feminine and honors the moon as a presence rather than an object. Over time, certain words have become more scientific or masculine in tone, and Luna, and spelt Luna, not Lunar, but Luna, feels like it brings us back to her gentle, natural energy. And it's also a name many ancient cultures used before different religious or cultural systems shifted the language. So when I say Luna, Luna, it's simply my way of acknowledging her as a living rhythm that we connect with. And again, it's the spelling of Luna as well, which has two different connotations, which I've always found quite interesting. Have you ever heard about that,
I
Sally?
hadn't heard of the difference between lunar and lunar, but one of my circles I offer is a Luna Rosa. Because my drum is pink and looks like a moon, so I started, doing women's drumming circles. So my circle is actually called Luna Rosa. Yeah.
Ah,
So now you've added all this extra
there you
context for
go.
me, which I didn't know.
Yeah. So, you know, the lunar, the moon, whatever you want to, whatever you want to call her, and you go with your own gut instinct, has many different cycles. Um, when I work with her, I tend to keep it simple because for me, I don't need to follow every tiny detail, and you don't have to either. I'm gonna briefly talk about the different phases, and then Sally's going to talk
Mhm.
more about full moon for you. So, each phase is its own energy, and it's really just about noticing how you feel during those times. So, the main phases are the new moon, which we are in today. So, it's appropriate that
No,
we didn't
no,
even
you
know
didn't.
this when we decided we were going to do this topic, that, we'd be in the
Mhm.
new moon space. And the new moon normally is a quiet, reflective time, good for setting intentions, planting seeds, and thinking about what you want to bring in. Then after that, we have the waxing moon. This is when the energy starts to build. This is when you can take small steps, make plans, and put things into action. Then we go into the full moon, where everything is at its peak, emotions can feel stronger, and that's a lovely time for releasing what no longer feels right or for celebrating progress. And then it goes into the waning moon, when the energy starts to soften again, which is perfect for letting go, cleansing, and giving yourself permission to slow down. And again, I like to keep it simple because the more you tune in, the more you notice how these phases show up in your own life. And obviously, the full moon is the one that most people talk about. So, do you want to start
Yeah,
on
I
some things
do, I
about the full
do.
moon,
I just
Sally?
want to say at the beginning though, just like Ray, I don't feel that I have to do something every full moon or I have to do something every new moon.
Mm.
It's almost like she calls to me when I need to work with her. But having said that, this is a book that I decided to share with you today, The Modern Witch's Guide to Happiness. And I just got it on the big shop that's going to have Black Friday coming up, whose name I shall not mention, because I'm not sure about advertising and that kind of thing. But I found this book was really useful, and when I realised we were going to be looking at the moon, I knew that this was one of the books that I needed to share with you. So this section's about full moon power. So there are different, they call them spells in here because the book is The Modern Witch's Guide to Happiness, but I just call them rituals. I'm not sure spell resonates with me in my practice, but it may resonate with you and yours. But it's, it's just words, isn't it? Um, so there's a money one. You can call upon the full moon's supercharging abilities to harness your magical intent into money rituals. You could do that, yeah. So you could do that by getting some citrine or something like that, putting it out and charging it under the full moon, and then holding it and saying, I will manifest everything I need and more. And so that's something you can do. You can use the moon's energy when it's full to release things that you no longer desire. It could be things like toxic relationships or health issues and things like that. And there is some power to that. There really is. If you think about, the moon is responsible for the tides, women's menstrual cycles, and things like that, then you realize, yeah, it is not just a beautiful ball in the sky. There is absolutely more to it than that. Um, You can also use the moon energy to clear and bless your home. You could use a crystal point, and you could charge that under the full moon and then bring that moon's energy in, and you can charge it by blessing the corners of your home. And it's also a good time to have a look at like your career and your goals and things like that. And you can use the energy of the full moon just to what I do is I just go out, and to be honest, it doesn't even have to be a full moon for me. If it just looks almost like it's full, that's enough, or I can see it through the clouds, that's enough, to be honest. But I'll go out and I visualize things about any worries about my career or my goals or anything, and I visualize them like golden light or sparkles, just and look under the full moon and ask her to take care of it. Selena, I call her, and just release it to her. And there is something really profound about knowing that you can just let things go, and you can let spirit or the moon take control. They can handle stuff for us, and there's a real safety and a relaxing in that we don't have to be involved in the minutiae, the details of our life. We can just allow things to flow, and we're trusting in something greater than ourselves. And that is the kind of energy I do get from working with the moon. There's also a lovely little, if you're on the lookout for love and you want a loving relationship, what you can do is you can get some water, and you can leave the water out under the full moon and put some rose petals in the water and get that water to absorb her energy. And then you take the water and the rose petals and you put it in a ritual bath. So then the bath, what you're doing is you're bathing in the energy of the moon with the rose petals, and you might want to put some essential oils in there or some essential bath oils in there. And it's not, you could swap it up. You could put citrine crystals in there, or calendula flowers, or something else. It doesn't have, you can easily change that ritual from being for love to healing to manifestation. But I just think they're beautiful little rituals that you can do. Yeah, so there's one here for a new job as
Wow.
well, where you cleanse a clear quartz point in the moon, and then you put on a piece of paper, like a brand new job, or a job working from home, or whatever your things, or it could be something else. It could be, oh, I don't know, Johnny Depp to move into my town, or whatever, like Captain Jack Sparrow. That could be your intention, right? So you put it on a bit of paper, you put a clear quartz point that you've had out in the moon, and you put that point on your piece of paper. And then the idea is that you're bringing that forward. So if you also wish for Johnny Depp or Jason Momoa, let me know and see if you can manifest them, and I'll try too.
Oh, I love that, and the two specifics that you got there. Yes, I can totally agree with Johnny Depp on that one. Jason Momoa, not so
It's Johnny
sure,
Depp as
but
Captain Jack Sparrow.
hey,
That's it
no.
for me.
So, as you've mentioned a few rituals there,
Mm,
crystals that we can use with moon work. Quite often when I bring crystals into working with lunar, it's not because I have to or you have to, but because sometimes they add calmness to the space, and they give that little bit of focus, as you've mentioned, Sally, with the quartz
mm.
points. I mean, obviously, moonstone, one of my favorites, and that really helps with intuition and emotional steadiness. And you're back. Hello again. You disappeared for a
I
second.
thought you'd gone, and it is me that had gone.
One of us went,
It's
but
me.
hey,
It's me. It's
we're
always
we're
me.
we're
It's
both
always me.
we're both. So yes, moonstone helps with intuition and emotional steadiness. Then obviously selenite is lovely for cleansing and bringing lightness into a room. And I think selenite always looks like a moon anyway. Clear quartz obviously works well because it amplifies whatever intention you're sitting with. And labradorite is another one. And that's great for spiritual growth and those moments when you're stepping into a new phase. And sometimes I'll pop them by my bed, hold them when I meditate, place them around my healing room. I just keep it really simple, and I just let them support the atmosphere. Um, and I don't know about you, but do you put your crystals out on a full moon,
Do
Sally?
you know what? When I first started doing this spiritual work, like as a properly, I did, but now I do it sometimes, but not often, to be honest. I know I should do it more because I can feel the energy
Yeah.
of them when I do it. Um, yeah. So, but my main crystals I try and keep on a windowsill so that I hope that they're getting the moon energy anyway, but I know I should do it more. Yeah.
Yeah. The trouble is, though, as you do more of this work and you get more and more
That's
crystals,
the
and
thing.
funny enough, our next show we're going to be
We
talking
are,
about
yeah,
crystals,
yeah.
so we're going more into that. Um, is that the more crystals you have, the harder it is to put them out because you've got to try and find them all from
That's
everywhere.
the thing of it. That is the thing. I have got crystals in every room of my house, and I've got about 3 or 4 different altars around. It is just too much, and I'd have to be. That would be a job in itself. Remember, and even if I were to do a rota, it's still gonna. It's too much. Really, it's too much.
Yeah. Exactly. So anyone who's watching us either live or the replay, are there any moon rituals that you do?
Yeah,
Anything how you work with lunar? Let us know
yeah.
because it'll be great to, because it may be that things about working with lunar that we
Mm,
don't. Some new ideas, some
yeah,
inspiration that you have that we can all go, oh, that sounds good, and we
yeah,
like looking at. So do let us know
yeah, and
um,
yeah. And if you go to any
how you do
circles as
it.
well, and circles, if you go to any full moon
Yeah,
circles. I'd love to hear. I mean, I don't go to any, and it'd be nice to hear. Mm.
yeah. I don't think I really have many around here where I live.
We've
I
got
would
a
have thought
bunch,
they
yeah.
probably would have had more down where you.
We've got quite a lot, but they're often on the days that I'm already holding circles myself. That's the thing about when you hold circles, you don't get to go to other people's because you're busy doing your own. That's the thing of it, isn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it totally is. And I've just been asking, those of you watching, how you work with the
Mm,
moon cycles. So I'm just going to give you a very quick how I tend to work with them, which, again, I don't do it every moon. But one of the things I love about Luna is that she does guide us through these natural rhythms. And every phase has its own feel. And when we tune in to it, life becomes a bit easier and much more flowing. Um, when lunar is new, the energy is quiet. So, I like to take time to pause, set gentle intentions, and listen within. As she starts to wax, and I feel the energy lifts, things feel like they're building, and that's when I take small steps forward or trust the nudges that I'm getting. When she is full, then everything rises to the surface, emotions, realizations, the things that I've been avoiding. For me, it's a time of clarity rather than doing. And then as she wanes, everything sort of like softens and it becomes a time of letting go, slowing to peace and healing and preparing for the next cycle. And again, I don't follow this perfectly. I just notice how I feel and work with the rhythm rather than
mm.
against it. And I'm guessing that's how you
Yeah,
do too, Sally.
absolutely. As I said before, I really only work with the moon when she calls to me. Um, but I feel once you're on a spiritual path and you start noticing the energies and things like that, you kind of do fall into her rhythm. And particularly doing the research for this thing tonight, this thing we're doing now, um, I thought, oh my goodness, yeah, that really fits. And when I look back in the diary of when the full moon was and it was waxing away, I thought, oh my goodness, yeah. And you find you're naturally doing it, and you don't have to make it into a thing. It just is, and you get into that flow. And also with the wheel of the year as well, you get into those cycles, which I will be talking about later, to do with the energies of the month. Um, One interesting thing though is I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for 27 years, and you could always tell when it was a full moon. The kids went crazy in the playground. around.
Hmm.
They were so high, but that and a full moon, and also when it's windy, were the two things that just used to send them sky high. And that's where the word lunacy comes from. People who are, who had
Right.
challenges with their mental health and that kind of thing, they were worse during a full moon. They'd have flare ups during the full moon, which is where the word lunacy comes from, and lunatic. Yeah.
Yeah, and and emergency services often say, don't
Mm.
they, that if it's a full moon, that they have more issues with people with mental health issues, with fights, with everything that's going on. But what my mum used to do, and in fact she still does, so as soon as the first slither of the new moon appears, she will actually turn her coins in her purse to bring money in
What a
for the
great
month.
idea. Does it work?
I think
Keeps
so.
doing it in
She's
Mum's.
there's yeah. Actually, do you know something? I think she's actually. Oh, actually, I need to tell her to start doing that again because she did stop, and money has slowed down very much. So, and in fact, I haven't done it
I
for a
never
long
knew.
time
So let's
either.
a little. It's going to be an experiment with us and the people watching. Let's do it. So it's the full moon. Is it the new moon? You do it on the full moon,
It's the new moon. I mean, my mum used to do it when the you first saw the first slither of
right?
it. Um, and I think a lot of people often say when you actually want to manifest with the new moon, you kind of like you actually do the actual doing when you get the first bit of slither. So not on the actual
Right.
new moon
And kind of
itself,
day
but
after.
a day or two
Right.
afterwards is when you actually start doing the physical thing towards it. So yeah, so let's all
Yes.
try it out. We win the new moon now in a couple of days when we see the first little slither. Let's try turning the money over in our purse and
Absolutely.
see how we get money wise for the
Oh my
week.
gosh, that's amazing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to message you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing it again. So
Yes.
goddesses, tell me
Yeah.
about the
Now
moon
it
and
was interesting
goddess.
because you mentioned selenite. Well, selenite is named after goddess Selena. There we go. And she
Uh-huh.
is the goddess of the moon. And the affirmation on this card says, I let the light of illumination fill me with love, which fits into about Goddess Selena, which I will talk about in a second. So I use this Goddess Oracle deck. There we go. By Katia Perez. And it's the most, I'm terrible at this. There we go. It's the most beautiful deck. So this is what it says about Goddess Selena. It said, serene and beautiful, Selena had many lovers over many lifetimes, but she shared a special kind of love with Endymion. And what she did was she was so much in love with him that she asked the god Jupiter to put Endymion in a long sleep so he would stay forever in a sleep so she could visit him and he wouldn't age because she loved him so much. And he agreed to this as well because he loved her so much. So every night he'd wake up and, they'd connect together and date and all of that kind of stuff. And every day he'd go to sleep to make sure that he lived forever. And they say that as the moon is waxing, that's like the energy of Goddess Selena as she's traveling towards Endymion, and when it wanes, is she's moving away from the god Endymion. And I just think that's just so beautiful, that she travels across the skies every night, to come to, well, they say lover, but it feels more than that, and I just think that's just so beautiful. And this was one of the other cards that came through, which is interesting, which is a moon ritual card. And it says, I see things
Yeah.
clearly and calmly. And this moon ritual was you choose a night with a clear visibility of the moon. You fill a glass or bottle with clean, preferably distilled or spring water. You can add water-safe crystals. You seal the jar and place it outdoors on a windowsill where it will receive direct moonlight. And as you place the jar down, you set an intention for your moon water. And it could be for purification or enhancing intuition or bringing calmness. And you leave the jar under the moonlight all night. And then you visualize the moon's rays infusing in the water with its luminous energy. And the next morning you collect it and you can store it in a cool, dark place. And you need to use it within 24 hours, but you can use it to anoint yourself during meditation or cleanse your crystals as part of your bath ritual, which I mentioned earlier, or use it to water plants. And each time you use the water, you remember the intention you infused it with and the energy of the moon. Which, I mean, I just think it's so beautiful. And have you ever done moon water? Because I have done moon water.
Yes.
And it does have a most beautiful, gentle energy. And when you drink it, you really feel that energy. And the other thing I do with moon water is I place it on a piece of paper which has got an affirmation. Just a simple one like I am loved or I am blessed or I manifest everything I need and more in my life. And as well as the energy of the moon, you get the energy of that manifestation that comes into the water. So it's like a double whammy, really. Um, Yes, I think it's beautiful. There were quite a few goddesses of the moon. Every culture had two or three. So there was goddess Diana, Artemis. There was such a lot, but the story of goddess Selena really resonated with me, and it was such a beautiful story that was the one I thought I'd most like to share this evening.
No, that's beautiful. And it is wonderful that there are many goddesses connected, and funny enough, there are actual angels connected or also associated with the moon as well. So a couple of them that I actually like working with when I'm working with Lunar. Archangel Haniel is the one that most people would feel around moonlight. I mean, her energy is very gentle. It helps with intuition and emotional balance and feeling more in tune with your natural cycle. And the other one I quite often call on, believe it or not, is actually Archangel Gabriel, because Gabriel's energy is actually great for clarity and understanding. And the messages that come through, especially around the full moon, when emotions and insights can feel a bit louder. So, you don't have to say anything special, just thanking them for their support is enough. And of course, remember that all angels are archetypes. So if you can't remember Haniel or Gabriel, but you want to call on Archangel Michael for protection around the full moon, call on him. Angels will help us with anything, but to me, Haniel and Gabriel are the two most associated with the moon and her, or with Luna and her
That's
cycles.
amazing. Wow. I didn't think you were going to say
Yeah,
Gabriel then. I was like, oh, whoa, Angel Gabriel. Amazing.
I
Yeah,
know.
cool. You really know your angels.
Yeah. Hey, I've got the wings. What can I say? And if you want to find out more about angels, then we did do a show, and I will put a link so you can actually go to our show on angels, so you can actually check that out. So what
So
else can you
this
tell
is,
us
I
about the
feel like
moon that you've done
I feel
in
like
your
I'm plugging a lot
research?
of books tonight, and it's all to do with goddesses, really, and that's what I'm really about, is goddesses, the divine feminine, and all of that. But this one's called Ariadne's Thread, a workbook of goddess magic by Shekinah Mountain Water. This lady, she's American, but check her out, because she channeled through a whole women's rune system, all this goddess work. She's written books. She's amazing, and it was really weird because when I was researching for this, I was drawn. It was Goddess Selena who came through, and then I was drawn. She was showing me which books to go to on my bookshelf, and I wasn't expecting anything to be in here, but there's a whole like chapter, and this I think is quite apt, particularly in the times we're going through at the moment with what's going on with women in the world and how women are being treated. So, since the beginning of civilization and before, the moon and her energies have been associated with women. The moon's mysterious, for she appears and disappears as if by magic. She's the mother, maiden, and crone as she cycles through.
Oh, we've lost Sally, so we'll have to wait for her to come back to find out more about that, so we can get more with the book. And again, for those of you watching, what do you do to actually celebrate the moon, lunar, her cycles, etc.? It'll be interesting to hear how you work with that. So tell us more,
Sorry about this.
Sally.
I should apologise. It's my internet connection. Ray and I've talked about this before, but my husband was working on my computer for about half an hour today trying to suss it out, but it is what it is. So,
And we're in
well,
Mercury
that's going to
retrograde.
just add the cherry on top, isn't it, really? So she pulls the tides of the earth and the blood tides within us. She teaches us the phases of our own personalities as we cycle from inward turning aloneness to outward moving accessibility. The moon is the sun of the night, the eye of the goddess that opens and shuts throughout the month. She is one of our most visible signs of the passage of time and one of the best guides for keeping our calendars. Her energies are deep, moving into unconscious realms. Luna, Selena, Xingmu, Bridget, Mona, Arma, Aphrodite, Hecate, Eurynomy, Doris, Lucretia, and Diana are some of the many names given to the goddess of the moon. In many cultures, moon and goddess were synonymous, representing the feminine principle, the source of life, woman, instinct, and the round of birth, life, and death. The attitude of a culture towards the moon is usually an indicator of that culture's attitude towards women. In patriarchy, we've moved from the lunar approach to the solar approach. Time, once measured by moon cycles, is now measured by the path of the earth around the sun. The moon representing the unconscious, Eros or Aphrodite, the intuitive mind, emotional and psychic energies, has taken a backseat to the sun, which has come to represent the everyday rational thought, the practical world, and the male logos. The cosmology has resulted that places moon and suns as opposite, and male and female gods as opposite, mutually completing the universe. Since the male is seen as dominant in the patriarchy, the sun has gradually ascended to power, and the moon has been placed in the background. And that just sums it up, doesn't it? So back in the day, we had male and feminine in balance, which is what we talk about sometimes on this show. And they're both different, not greater than or less than. They are equal but different, and the two halves make a whole, like yin and yang. But then with the patriarchy, it's pushing the sun, the energy of goals, targets, putting yourself out there, and the intuition, the caring, and the psychic abilities and that kind of thing take a back seat. And the moon and the sun are seen as opposites when really they were just originally two sides of the same coin. Which is how it's changed. We've gone from a solar cosmology, from a lunar cosmology to a solar cosmology. But now, as more and more people, more and more women in particular, are connecting to the energy of the moon, hence why people asked for this podcast. They asked for this. We don't just randomly choose these. People ask. And that's
No.
because the energy of the moon is coming to the fore, and we're ready now. We're ready to get that balance back, which is so exciting and powerful.
Yeah, it is totally. And we're not going to go down the little rabbit hole of the moon
No, no, no,
as a
no, no.
vehicle, and that will really we
Please
won't
don't.
we won't go down that right. No, that's a whole different
That hurts my
conversation and a whole
soul. That
different
actually makes
show.
my soul hurt.
But one Yeah, there's so many stories and theories and everything about Luna. So what you want to remember is that one thing that Luna teaches us is to honor our own rhythm, our own intuition, our own guidance. We all have moments when we're full of energy and moments when we need to slow down. And when we stop judging that and start listening, life feels less pressurized and more connected. And working with Luna is really about working with yourself. It's about giving yourself permission to rest, to rise, to release, to grow, in your own time with your own intuition, your own guidance. So
I
anything more about the
think
moon that you've
I've
got, Sally?
covered everything with a nice side dash of feminism, so I think I'm done.
Yeah, cool. So, why don't you then, Sally,
Yeah.
tune into the energies of the month and see what
So what's
guidance that
been
we're being
coming through
offered?
quite a lot in the last couple of days since it got really cold, really, so the past week. I was just talking then about the patriarchy and it being so a solar cosmology rather than a lunar. Well, that kind of fits with what the energies are. So now it's got colder, the days are getting shorter. It's about giving us time to winter. And our world is not set up like that. If you don't work for yourself or work from home, whatever, you're going out to work, there's electricity, that you're expected to put the same output that you would in the summer when the days are longer and the days are brighter. And it's about giving yourself that chance to embrace the darkness, to embrace that feeling of being able to rest, to go within, to do like nesting, cleaning your house, snuggling up. I mean, the minute it gets dark, I've got my pajamas on usually, and I've got the wood burner on, and I've got a fleece blanket. And I started reading more, lots more cups of tea, and it's about allowing yourself to drop into that, to allowing that rest. We're not designed to work and put maximum output the whole year. The seasons don't. The animals, the birds don't. Animals hibernate. The flowers die back for the winter and they'll come back in the summer. So why do we have to push and keep pushing? And the system's designed to keep making us pushing through, the same output as the summer. So even if we are working away from home and we're working bonkers hours, it's about giving yourself that gift of time. When you come in, have a microwave meal rather than cook from scratch, or use a slow cooker or something. Allow yourself, 20 minutes to have a cup of tea and watch a Christmas movie. Whatever floats your boat. It's allowing yourself, your body, your soul, and your psyche just to relax and go within and allow this wintering to happen, because from the darkness, you think about it, seeds grow in the darkness. From this darkness, new seeds will grow. And by giving ourselves this time, we will end up being more productive, more creative, more expansive, because we've allowed ourselves to rest. Rest isn't just about those 2 weeks we have in the summer holidays when we go abroad somewhere nice, or go somewhere in the UK somewhere nice, or whatever. It's about taking that rest now while we can, snuggling up with a book, um, and just allowing ourselves to drop. Like us, we're not doing massive dog walks anymore. Now it's dark and cold. We do two shorter ones where we run them on the field, or it's adapting to suit so that you can have that opportunity to go within and go into the darkness, and you're getting yourself ready for a beautiful rebirth come the spring.
Beautiful. Yes, I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
wintering in. I think that's a
Yeah.
brilliant wintering in. I like, yeah. So let's see what the cards want to say. Now, I don't actually have any moon cards. So if anyone watching knows of
Mm.
any moon cards that they think are nice, then, please do let us know. I'm always looking for new decks of cards. So I'm going to use the Gateway of Light activation cards by Hull Gray. And we'll wait for Sally to come back. So let's see what Sally, everyone watching needs to know for the cards this week. And just let me bring Sally back into the stream. Oh, no, I thought I was bringing her back, but she's not there. So let's wait for her to come back. But whilst we are, the card that came out, um, let's see if she's back. Yay! So the card that came out was Serious Star Blessings. Yes, proceed, be seen, push through. And doesn't Sirius look like a moon there?
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that absolutely brilliant? So, what the angels are saying through the cards for this month is, keep going. Even if you're wintering in, you are still moving forward with your thoughts, with your dreams, with your written words. You know, you can still be seen when you're wintering in. In fact, it's more, you've got more of an opportunity of being seen by others around you because you're not rushing about so much, and you can really see others as well, because where you're not rushing, you've got the time to to see people as they truly are. So go forward, enjoy the wintering, because the ideas that you're going to come up with are going to be absolutely amazing, and will completely take you forward on your journey. And you know as you're listening to this show tonight, or whenever you actually watch this, just notice where you are in your own cycle. You don't have to follow anything perfectly. Just let Luna guide you in a way that feels natural. She's always there holding space without judgment, helping you understand yourself at a deeper level. So use your own intuition as you winter within. I do love that saying, wintering within. I'm going to be using that everywhere now. So thank you everyone so much for joining us today for our Cup of Spirituality. Both Sally and I hope that you found something meaningful to take away from this episode. And remember, this is your community, and we'd love to hear from you. So don't forget to share your thoughts, like this video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next chat. And thank you to
Yes.
Tasmin for being brave enough to say hello. I did notice we've had a few people dropping in and out today whilst we've been actually on air. So, if you missed part of it, do go back and watch the beginning, and let us know any rituals or things you might do with the moon. And if there's anything you want us to cover
Yeah.
next year, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so if you feel called to connect with us personally, you'll find all the details in the description below. We're here to support you on your journey however we can. So anything you need, you're welcome to connect to either of us. Is there anything you want to mention? Have you got anything coming up that you want to mention?
Um, Only my normal afternoon tea my afternoon with the angels, which I've got coming up this Sunday. So if you're in the Dartford area and you want to come along in person, then do come along from 3 till 5. We literally talk about angels. I do a channel guided meditation. We pull some angel oracle cards, and then we have tea and biscuits. So feel free to join. And if you don't live local, then you can actually join us online. You just don't get the tea and biscuits. What about yourself, Sally? You got anything
Yeah,
coming
so
up?
I've started a Sunday evening meditation group. It's 7:30 to 8:30 online, and it's £10 investment. So I tune into the energies, and each session you get a bespoke meditation that could involve connecting to your guide, receiving an activation, receiving healing, going on your own journey. But whatever you get through is right for you at that evening. And sometimes I channel Mary Magdalene through, and she gives individual messages. I don't mention people's names. I just say somebody may feel that, and if it resonates, then it's for you. And you're more than welcome to join. So that's Sunday evening. It's every Sunday evening, 7:30 to 8:30.
Wonderful. Thank you for letting us know, Tasmin, that you found that really interesting. It's always nice when we hear that. So I think, Sally, it just leaves us to say,
So take care, stay curious, and keep sipping on that cup of spirituality.
see you next month for crystals.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.